Right now, thousands of people are without power on both the North Shore and the South Shore after strong storms today.
Entergy says the thunderstorms knocked out power for 8,000 Entergy customers in Kenner, and they are expected to remain in the dark for several more hours tonight. Coming up, we will take a closer look at those outages in Jefferson Parish. Also right now, CLECO crews work on restoring power for thousands of customers on the North Shore. They say the storms, as well as losing 2 transmission lines, knocked out the power there. Good evening, I'm Lee Zurich.
And I'm Lauren McCoy. We've been following these thunderstorms all day long.
David Jones is live from the North Shore with the latest.
Yeah, Lee, we're here in Mandeville, and you can really see the force of the storms that came through earlier today. I mean, take a look at this tree that just ripped through the home through the roof, of this home in Mandeville. Now, we've spoken with a few neighbors who tell us that the property owners were not home, thankfully, when this happened. The good news tonight, though, this was about the worst damage we've seen on this part of the North Shore. Certainly not good news, though, for this homeowner, but we do know the utilities felt the impact from these storms. CLECO reporting at one point 11,000 were out of power here on the North Shore. That number, though, has now dropped to fewer than 2,000. The utility said it lost 2 transmission lines, a fire along a transmission line in West St. Tammany, initially shutting off power to thousands, causing power outages in Covington and other areas nearby. St. Tammany Fire District says the fallen power line sparked a wildfire which burned around 200 acres, and it took dozens of firefighters and bulldozers from the state's forestry department to contain the blaze. And CLECO crews working throughout the night as well. And again, they just got that 11,000 number down to just under 8,000 by 6 o'clock, and now down to fewer than 2,000. Again, CLECO has not given an estimated restoration time, but has said that their crews are working throughout the night to restore power. For now, reporting live in Mandeville, David Jones, Fox 8, Local First.
All right, David, thank you very much. And as we mentioned, thousands are without power in Jefferson Parish tonight.
Yeah, Meg Gatto is in the newsroom with a closer look at the outages.
Well, Lee and Lauren, this is what we know tonight. There are around 10,000 customers without power in Jefferson Parish. An Entergy spokesperson chalking that up to tonight's storm. So I want to give you a closer look at those outages. I'm going to pull up the Entergy Louisiana map here. Now you can see this large swath here. Obviously, that's a big area without power. First, I want to show you here. This is a little section near the lake in Kenner. And this area seems to be, you know what, in just the last few minutes here, all of the streets have turned green. You can see one tiny little street over here is red. So that's great news. That means Entergy crews are there on the ground restoring power, because again, as of 1 or 2 minutes ago when I last checked, this area right here along McKinley Street was still without power. So that is great news to see there. All right, let's move over here to this largest swath I was telling you. Right here is Louis Armstrong International. So this is the biggest section that we're seeing without power tonight. Just north of the airport there, all along Veterans is in the dark tonight. All the way to Vintage Drive, also without power. So this is a huge area that Entergy is working on at this moment. I'll just zoom in a little bit closer so you can get a better look at the streets there that are affected. Okay, now taking a look over here in another section of Metairie, we've got another little portion. There's this little few streets here in Metairie that are also without power. This is along Frisco Avenue without electricity tonight as well. There's probably about 10 to 12 streets there that are affected. And lastly, I want to bring you over to the West Bank, because there's a portion of Terrytown that is also without power tonight. Here you go. You can see the red lines there that indicates areas that are without power. We understand there are about 2,600 customers in Terrytown without power. Now, Entergy saying tonight that they expect crews will be able to restore power to a majority of customers by 1 a.m. Now, at one point, there were 17,000 customers without power, and they've gotten that number down to a little over 10,000 at this point. Again, we can see as we were just looking at the map there in real time that crews are there on the ground restoring power to some of those folks in Jefferson Parish.